The 2015 Rugby World Cup in England began with an extravagant opening ceremony at Twickenham. All 20 nations taking part in the tournament were represented by one of their greats in a ceremony that mixed spectacle and history, from the sport's roots to the all-inclusive nature of the modern game.
Good evening and welcome to Twickenham. To England 2015 and to the 8th Rugby World Cup.
24 years ago, England opened the second World Cup at Twickenham and went on to finish runners-up. The expectations were high for the class of 2015 as they kicked off the tournament against Fiji in Pool A.
Vola with the cross kick. Nandolo against Watson. Nandolo's going to win. There was only ever one winner there. Brown quick to move it out to that left flank. Joseph, he's got Johnny May outside him. Good tackling from Vola, but it's not completed. Farrell coming through. Mike Brown looking for number 2. It's still there for England. Opportunity knocks. Batted on to Johnny May. May cuts back, looking for glory. Trying to hurdle his way over the line. Here they go.
Billy Vunipola's try meant that the hosts began their campaign with a bonus point victory. It wasn't a convincing performance by Stuart Lancaster's team, but a win over the dangerous South Sea Islanders was most welcome. Cardiff's wonderful Millennium Stadium had been chosen to stage 8 matches, including Wales' opening game against Uruguay. The home side were under pressure to repeat their run to the semis of 4 years ago, but injuries had blighted their preparations. Nonetheless, they scored 8 tries against the South American Minnows, with Corey Allen claiming the first hat-trick of the tournament. A comfortable 54-9 win saw them join England on top of Pool A. Their campaign against Fiji in Cardiff. The Islanders had given England a stern test on the opening night, but had to raise their game once more after only 4 days rest. Australia made a stuttering start before taking control through 2 David Pocock tries. The Wallabies went on to win 28-13 with prop Sekope Kepu crossing early in the second half, but they were restricted to 3 tries, which meant no bonus point. How crucial would that be? It was Stuart Lancaster against Warren Gatland as England and Wales met at Twickenham in one of rugby's great occasions. The winners would take a giant step towards qualification for the quarter-finals.
Just too far out there for Farrell, but England still have a good position and Farrell might make something of it. Anthony Watson, there's space outside. Ball comes to Brown eventually. And good work from the England fullback. Short side is Young. Johnny May did it again. England strike. Bradley Davis winning, good line-out ball again. Here goes Scott Williams. Scott Williams, oh, he's got pace and he's gone through there. And he's still going. Just couldn't get the ball off.
Advantage 15.
Wales have a penalty. They nearly had so much more. George North against Johnny May. Alan Wynne-Jones. England contest, they get the ball, but the advantage
15
runs out for Wales. And Bigger reduces the gap to 6 points.
3 second-half penalties, each by Owen Farrell and Dan Bigger, took the score to 25-18. Wales was still in touch despite losing 3 key players in just 4 minutes. Centre Scott Williams and fullback Liam Williams both stretch it off, and Hallam Amos also leaving the field with a suspected dislocated shoulder. It was not a night for the faint-hearted.
10 minutes left, Wales still within range. And if they get level from here, let alone win the game, what character, what an effort that would represent. Good hands there from Biggar to find North. Then it's Cuthbert. They simply can't afford any more injuries. There's nobody left on the bench.
No! Wales have just suffered as well in attack, with just too slow in the ruck.
Here's Jamie Roberts, draws the man, and away goes Lloyd Williams, out of position, the scrum half on the wing, and here's Gareth Davis, he's picked it up and he's scored! What a try for Wales! What a fight this is from Wales. Samson Lee.
Back, 19. It's inspired, decimated by injuries, inspired by the squad.
Adversity, I won't say has drawn them together, they're clearly together. They didn't need the adversity, but they now have a penalty. Wales just inside the England half. They are scrapping, they are fighting for everything, and they have the hosts rocking here. Biggar, he's got it, it's there! Wigglesworth, Ford, Brown. One eye on the clock at all times. Penalty England, they have a chance to equalise. Warburton can't quite believe it.
England had the opportunity to go for goal and tie the scores, but Chris Robshaw asked George Ford to kick to the corner instead in the hope of securing a match-winning try. Wales defended the ensuing line-out by driving the England forwards into touch, and the chance was gone. The decision drew widespread criticism as it enabled Warren Gatland's men to hold on to their narrow lead.
Wales are going to win this.
They've done it.
Biggar, off the field. Wales have done it. They have beaten England at Twickenham in England's World Cup.
An extraordinary match, a display of astonishing bravery by Wales, which must rank as one of their finest ever victories. Australia were ruthless against Uruguay, running in 11 tries at a near-capacity Villa Park. If the Wallabies had missed out on a bonus point against Fiji, there was to be no repeat as they cruised to the top of Pool A thanks to a 65 points to 3 victory. Following their dramatic win over England, Wales were fired up for the visit of Fiji 5 days later, and scrum half Gareth Davies dummied his way over after 7 minutes. Wales struggled to subdue the Pacific Islanders, but they did take some control before the break.
Lovely offload between Jenkins and Biggar. Alan Wynne-Jones feeds on to Matthew Morgan. Kenatale struggling to pull his man down. Great hands from Biggar. Here's an opportunity. Tyler Morgan has his head over the line, but not the ball. Scott Baldwin does.
Turned into aggression in the second half, and they troubled Wales with their attacking game.
Tuma again showing that leg drive and power and pace. And the warning bells ringing in the Welsh camp right now as Fiji flood forward. The offload is there. Guneva goes over. And John McKee at last can rejoice as Fiji do get it together.
2 penalties from Dan Biggar settled Welsh nerves and secured a hard-fought win, which put them in pole position in the pool. The result also meant that England had to beat Australia to stay in their own World Cup. And so attention turned to Twickenham for what had become the biggest match of the tournament so far. Defeat for England, and they were out.
Hooper. Now he went in hard on Farrell earlier. He gets a bit of his own medicine there. This is Kepu. Beale. Australia doing really well to keep this going. Now Foley, little dummy. Foley's going through. Oh, what a score from the fly half. Adam Ashton Cooper at the front of the line out again, but this time it all adds up. There's Pocock. Carries well there, covered a lot of ground. Simmons on the floor, helped by Douglas. Foley switching the point of attack. That's interesting. Bill back to Foley. It's more than interesting. It is a beauty. And for England now, this is a sporting crisis. Wigglesworth to Ford. Have they managed to work some space? Maybe. Wood is waiting outside. Anthony Watson. England on their way. Punch after punch they land at the breakdown. Hooper, one of the major reasons. He finds Foley. Foley to Adam Ashley Cooper. He's got Matt Giteau outside. Gives it to Giteau. And Giteau to round it off. Australia have dumped the host out of the competition.
For England, it was a humiliating exit in a fiercely contested pool. They became the first host nation in the history of the World Cup to fail to reach the quarter-finals. Uruguay had not scored a World Cup try since 2003 when their current coach Pablo Lemoine crossed the line in their 111-13 defeat to England. They ended that barren run when hooker Carlos Arboleda went over against Fiji to earn the loudest cheer of the night at Milton Keynes. Fiji, however, showed moments of attacking brilliance.
Nandola. He's going to take him on here. Here we go. Nakarawa. Nakarawa. For me, this man has been the player of the tournament. What an athlete.
Nakarawa helped Fiji end an encouraging campaign with a 7-try win. Wales and Australia were already planning for the business end of the tournament with the winner at Twickenham to finish top of Pool A. Australia were ahead by 6 in the final quarter but had 2 players in the sin bin. Surely Wales could capitalise.
For Wales. Oh, Folau. He comes again. It was knocked on. Wales don't want the scrum. They want to keep going. Drew Mitchell's sneaking up on this side. Back it goes to Roberts. The advantage over, so Australia have gained about 30 metres. But they need to get the ball somehow. Simmons hurt himself in the tackle. Here's North. Here's their chance for Ashley Cooper. But he was taken off his feet. Jones. This is heroic defence from the Wallabies. Liam Williams. Roll away, says the referee. 3 on 2. Quick hands. Here it is. George North. Try-saving tackle from Foley.
Having weathered the Welsh storm, Foley kicked his 5th penalty of the match, while Wales's points all came from the boot of Dan Biggar. It was awesome defence from Australia, who recorded their 11th consecutive victory over Wales to top the so-called pool of death. Australia and Wales were through to the quarter-finals, with England securing 3rd place in the pool after a bonus point win over Uruguay. And so to Pool B, which featured twice winners South Africa and Japan, who've only won a single match, and that was back in 1991. Surely there was only one outcome.
The Japanese heads towards the posts. Can they do it? They are close. Oh yes! Diaga. He's a giraffe. Brilliant. A human one. Now Japan's defence to be tested. Diaga. Horry goes in. And they're up quickly. Strauss! Straight through! You can't stop him!
With just over 10 minutes to go, Japan were trailing by 7, but they refused to lie down.
Here we go, Matsushima! Japan! Goromaru! minutes of injury time. A try will give the Japanese this monumental upset. Nakabi. It's tough going for Japan. Kawasa goes in. Here goes Leach. He's strong. Great tackle by Strauss. Saved the try. Tatakawa. Murphy! Here we go! Hesketh! Come on, Hesketh!
Hesketh's dramatic injury time try produced arguably the biggest upset in rugby history. The Springboks were stunned as the Brave Blossoms, coached by Eddie Jones, secured only their second ever World Cup victory. The Japanese players paraded around the pitch at the end to thank their delirious supporters. An incredible night at Brighton's Amex Stadium will live long in the memory. After all that excitement, the second Pool B match between Samoa and the USA seemed almost anticlimactic. Tim Nanai-Williams scored for the Pacific Islanders, who've twice been quarter-finalists in the competition. In a group split wide open by the Japanese heroics, anything was now possible. And the USA showed flashes of brilliance when winger Chris Wiles finished off a flowing move. 25-16 to Samoa, the final score, their fifth win in a row over the Americans. Springboks. Normally the Brave Blossoms would be major underdogs, but this time no one was quite certain what to expect.
Broadhurst gathers at the tail and the Japanese are charging towards the try line. They're over it and they've got the opening try of the game. Johnny Gray. Lovely burst. Well, he's been quiet all game. Not now, he's not. Mark Bennett just about gets the ball down. Tatakawa for Tui. Quick handling, so picked off. Seymour. Hurtling home. Fukuoka chasing hard. He won't catch him. Tommy Seymour's try might just seal the deal for Scotland.
Indeed it did, as Scotland went on to record a thumping 45-10 victory. Normal service was resumed as the Japanese couldn't last the pace against a team playing their first match. Who could blame them after only 3 days rest? But they still had 2 games to play and couldn't be written off just yet. South Africa, meanwhile, got their World Cup campaign back on track, recovering from their shock defeat to Japan by securing a routine bonus and crossed for a hat-trick of tries. The Springboks produced a convincing performance, and how they needed it. They've now met the Samoans 9 times and won on every occasion, this time by 46 points to 6. With 7 points from 2 matches, the South Africans restored confidence and their shattered pride. Time deficit and secure a bonus point against the USA. The 39-16 victory was enough to move them top of Pool B, but the Scots knew that the bigger games were to come against South Africa and Samoa. Japan had begun their Pool B campaign with one of rugby's great matches, their win against South Africa. Scotland brushed them aside in their second outing, but if they could win their third game against Samoa, the Brave Blossoms would be back in the quarter-final hunt.
And the forwards turn it up, and it's going to be a penalty try, I think. Craig Joubert has seen enough. Japan keep flowing towards that line. Are they going to get another score on the board before the break? Huge effort from the Brave Blossoms as they flow towards that right-hand side. Malasau stopped just short, but here they go again. Tuangi steps out, but is stepped by Akihito Yamada. They're going to have to check this, I think.
Check his knee on touch.
Another impressive win. If Japan could beat the USA in their final game, they'd be right in contention for a quarter-final place. The two nations who'd been expected to walk away with Pool B met in Newcastle. South Africa and Scotland were still favourites to go through, having been active in the bonus point column, and for South Africa, this was a chance to show they were still genuine contenders for the Webb Ellis Cup. The Springboks led by 10 points approaching half-time, but had Yanni du Plessis in the sin bin. In spite of that, they were still being driven on by a relentless forward pack.
They're taking it right up to the Scottish pack. Scotland hold on. De Priya, here we go. JP Peterson got a hat-trick against Samoa. Intercept. Here we go. It's Weir. It's Scott. Duncan Weir. Scotland. Yes! Tommy Seymour! Scotland really have their tails up now, trailing by just 7. They've scored all 10. Here's the drop goal for Pollard. He struck it well. They're pounding away at the Scottish defence. Gillilaroo with a no-look pass. Havana. Plenty of Scottish defenders in waiting. Scotland hold their line. Alberts.
Release assist!
Strauss lines up. He got away. 5 to go. Havana. Havana. The great Brian Havana. Try number 61.
Two pretty decent outings then from the Springboks, though this time they didn't add the bonus point. Scotland were left counting the cost of a bruising encounter ahead of a must-win game against Samoa. South Africa's opening defeat against Japan was a distant memory as they qualified for the quarterfinals in style with a 64-0 victory over the United States. They ran in 10 tries with Brian Habana collecting a hat-trick. Second place in the group was Scotland's for the taking, and all that was needed was a win over the Samoans, who'd had a distinctly underwhelming tournament.
So here comes Samoa again. Johnston taken out in front of the posts. The switch away to Nanai Williams. Beautiful pass away.